about 20 minutes on.
Well, good morning, people. We're at Clop Hill and we've only just woke up at 8:30. It was a bit wet last night, but it's relatively warm considering the sun's just rising properly. 6 degrees last night, which wasn't too cold. And might take a visit to the St Mary's Clop Hill to see what it looks like in the daytime. Never got to yesterday, it was hit and miss with the rain. But we had some good sunshine and missed the opportunity anyway. Right, time for breakfast. Let's get on it. Well, it's the 2nd of November and what an absolutely beautiful sky. Camps down there, campfire on the go for breakfast coming up. And look at the beautiful countryside. Sun's just coming through the clouds on that side. And a lovely bit of, plain and simply, countryside. And there, nestled underneath the oak tree, is my camp. And literally 30 feet to the other side of that tree is the road. But you don't get any noise really, and you have a really good sleep here. Woke up to a robin jumping from blade of grass to blade of grass. And I'm just loving this morning. You can see the church up the top of the hill there. That's how close we are to. Let me see if I can hold it steady and make you feel seasick. Really need a gimbal. So that's St Mary's Church, Clop Hill. Supposedly the most haunted church in all of Bedfordshire. Well, I went up and visited and there was nothing going on there. So I'm just gonna enjoy the sunshine, the beautiful weather. Oh. Right, let's go down there, see the boys and get some breakfast. Sausages, I think, this morning. Sausage and eggs. Cooked on an open fire by JJ, I think. Right, let's go. See you later. Yes, I know, it's a sign of abuse looking at our fireplace. But we've had our sausages, we've had our coffee, and now we're blinking. And JJ misses it because he's on camera. Come on JJ, you can pop one of those down. Let's zoom in and see which one you're aiming at. I can't do that on this phone. Well anyway, that's JJ's rifle for his birthday. And this is what we get up to on camp. Plinking against little metal rabbits, or rats, and zombies.
What they're horses.
Yes, he got one on camera. Okay, so as promised, we are here at St Mary's Old Church, which is information here on the board, prices of things that you may need to know. You can pause it and read it. Now let's take you to the church itself. There it is. It's in very good condition, and the Heritage Foundation, or whatever it's called, English Heritage, is very keen for people to be able to know what goes on in the area and the geology and the importance of these buildings and the significance of the landscape to the countryside. So yeah, that's the graveyard obviously over there. This is reported to be the most haunted church in the whole of Bedfordshire.
I had heard that it was the most haunted in England, but I dare say there's a few contestants for that. So you walk into the centre and it just looks like a small little thing. Just imagine the pews and that around there. The altar would have been here, I'm guessing. There's a stairway which is gated off, no one can get into. There's cameras and alarm systems all up there, so you can't get up there unless you want to meet somebody from the law who's going to object to you being here. Again, there's information. I'll try and get close for you to be able to read it on a pause. Up to there. Sure I can get you all in frame. Here's what I was saying about the pews and the altars. Okay, so it's kind of, I don't know, castle-like, I would say. It was a very small church, and the villages and towns around it outgrew it. So then they moved the whole of this, well, not the whole of this, they built a bigger church down the road. I don't think we can see the top of that from here, but it is basically about half a mile over that way. But get a good view from the outside. Tower's quite impressive through there, isn't it? Now, as far as we go for Halloween, just checking that the camera's still rolling, which it was the other day, but it seemed to roll for minutes and it only rolled for 5 seconds. I came up here 5 to 12 Halloween evening, night, whatever you want to call it, and stood by this tree. Now I knew that all the gravestones are surrounding, you can see them in there, the whole of the graveyard. Must be a certain age for them to be able to move the gravestones. And I stood here and the wind was blowing like 30-40 miles an hour, and you could see these bushes moving in the silhouette light, or at least I could. Whether you could see them on the camera is another matter. And all of a sudden I turned it on, turned the camera on, and come 12 o'clock everything stopped. I could hear the wind blowing up the hills, I could hear the trees in the distance blowing, but all the leaves on this tree and the branches stopped moving. Not slowed down or went little like these are at the moment. They stopped moving, and for about 30 seconds I sat here with a chill down my spine, wondering what the hell's going on. And then when I moved off to investigate after the trees started moving again, I had my torches on, I walked all around the building, and there was just nothing at all. So, am I glad there was nothing at all? I am pretty glad. I don't like being scared out of my mind, but I was thinking that there would be some people or something up here doing something that was going to be a little bit unusual, but there wasn't. Though we have seen people in the past leaning up against that wall in there like spread eagle, praying to something or someone, and that was a bit freaky. So that was the only thing I've ever seen, but strangely enough that person was in our company and we were camping with them. Needless to say, we don't see him anymore. Look at that beautiful countryside over there. If you research Clophill Church, St Mary's Old Church, you'll get quite a lot of history about people being killed here, kids playing with human skulls, all sorts of unusual behaviour. But I've been up here 5-10 times, and barring the bloke that we brought with us, we haven't seen anything that's a bit worrying, if you see, if that's the way you look at it. But it's just a lovely little church ground, nice bit of scenery, and we loved it. So if you want to go and look at some history, come to Clophill St Mary's Old Church. That's me signing out and saying goodbye to the church.